Let's start this video. I've talked too goddamn much.
Honey, you know what I've noticed? In any message I share, for the record, always applies to myself. Like, I'm not exempt just because I'm sharing it. So I've noticed that we want a signier sign. Mind you, we've been getting dreams, songs, angel numbers, that post that came across our feed that just so happened to apply to our situation. But we want the sign to be on the billboard in big red letters, lit up with glitter. And it's almost as if we're waiting for this moment to feel ready. You're not going to feel ready for something you've never done. That's why you have to get pushed. We're also waiting for us to trust the outside world and the people in it. But a bird doesn't trust the branch it lands on. It trusts its wings. And you should do the same. First of all, hi. So I'm currently cleaning house, out with the old, in with the new, manifesting a new wardrobe, inshallah. I have no idea how this is gonna look. I have contractual obligations, clothes to wear, posts to do, bills that have to be paid, and, showing up the best I can, right? Because I know that it's not gonna be perfect. I know that people may have a gripe. I mean, my arms are out, right? First of all, it's hot, and then I sweat like a puddle under my armpits. Not an excuse, but looking into Botox under my arms and finding clothes that are more aligned with where I'm headed, even if it's not to the book perfect.
My first question is this: where is that baby at? That's my first question. Where is that damn baby? She got a little too much free time to be having a baby. Where, especially as mommy too. She's mommy. Where the fuck is that baby? And here's, I'm not trying to bash her as a mother, because I predicted that she was gonna do all this when I was in Ukraine. I remember doing those videos when I was in Kiev. That baby got thrown off on the parents. How much you want to bet? That baby is thrown off on the parents. I will bet $1,000 to a donut. That baby got thrown off on her parents. I will bet $1,000 to a donut. This is a little too much energy. She's a mom. When women do social media, dude, that is a huge red flag. Women doing social media is a huge red flag. And if they have kids, it's even worse. Women who are doing anything because they're mommy, dude. Mommy is the one. Mommy is the focus. The kids always want mommy. She got too much energy. Too much. This is them kids got thrown off on the parents. I'm calling that shit right now.
That's what this is all about for me, as I'm just gonna show up and give my best, and every day my best gets better. First of all, hi. And happy birthday to me. I am 31 years young, and this is the most at peace I have ever been in my entire life. A lot of people misinterpret my messages. I'm not asking for permission, nor am I seeking forgiveness. I don't respect pick and choose culture. I pick myself and I choose to show up as myself. Where a pig with a wig can get the gig, everybody looks the same, everyone strives to fit in. Showing up as yourself, even something as simple as wearing the hair that grows out of your scalp, it makes you different. Being yourself in the world today is considered divine rebellion. A half-truth is still a whole lie. And if you are not showing up in truth, you're doing yourself a disservice.
While she's looking dead at you with 10 pounds of makeup on.
Showing up, however that looks like that day, not now, because day to day overwhelms me. I'm moment to moment. However I show up, I'm at peace with however that's received. The truth doesn't need validation. If you don't understand it, it's not for you. That's why I'm at peace. Because I'm allowing myself to be seen. And in allowing myself to be seen, I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable. In allowing myself to be vulnerable, I'm allowing myself the opportunity to be loved for who I actually am. Happy birthday to the realest on your timeline. Hello. First of all, hi. Few updates. I'm going to be having my own talk show. There's just not enough truth being told out here, and that's why my hair is so big. It's full of truth. So be on the lookout for that. I have been on pussy strike since October because the thought of somebody's raggedy ass son who doesn't value me standing over top of me makes me want to. Oh my God. So dating, it's been a little non-existent because I'm not interested in anything casual. And instead of complaining about not going on any dates, I just eat dates. Okay? I changed my diet.
See, okay, what you're witnessing right now is a Melissa Ford in the making. This is Melissa. I think the older population in the U.S. older. I think like my age, which I am older. I'm 38. You remember Melissa Ford. What you're witnessing is a form of Melissa Ford in the process. See, it's only going to get more bitter, more angrier, more bitter from here on out. And like I tell my spouse now, like I've told my ex-wife, that what the best thing that can happen to Brittany Renner is if she just went on ahead and just gained about 150 pounds, and maybe I would say the more the better. If she gained weight, she became a burn victim. She ended up with vitiligo, something like that. She needs something to sit her ass down and humble her ass. That would be the best thing for her. Because as long as she thinks she's cute, this is gonna get worse. She's Melissa Ford. Well, at least Brittany Renner had a child. I don't think Melissa Ford even had any kids, which is even. I think that gets worse as you get older as a woman, because she's never really learned how to think for anybody except herself. At least Brittany Renner's had to at least look at something that came out of her. Had to think, think for somebody other than herself. But in the end, I think it's a similar ending. You're watching a Melissa Ford in a version of Melissa Ford in the process. It doesn't get better. Her life doesn't get, no matter how many $20 bottle of water she goes out and goes out and buys, no matter how expensive makeup, no matter how expensive jewelry she gets, it doesn't matter. This doesn't get better for her. There is no better way out. Her better days are long gone, and she would never get them back. That's another big difference between men and women. As a man, yeah, we age too. We lose muscle mass and all that too. But a man, you can go out and just get money and buy you a 22-year-old version of Brittany Renner. The new Brittany Renner. Who's the new Brittany Renner out now? You can go buy that if you just go get more money. Right? Whereas Brittany Renner can never ever get her 22-year-old. Vivica Fox can never be 22-year-old Vivica Fox ever again. That time is gone, is forever gone. So in as they age, they usually have two paths. The most of them, especially if she can stay cute longer, they usually have one or two paths. Either complete anger and bitter. Well, that's really it. It's really just one. Anger and bitter. Or two, try to pretend like they're not angry and bitter. Because they could be. This is Melissa Ford in the process. And then coincidentally, no man will ever be good enough. And they can't. Right? Because of what she used to be. Because of what she bought, and not even from an intellectual sense, what she used to be, from what she used to be on a physical level. That's the only thing that got her by at all. If she had been an extra 150 pounds heavier, in her shoulders and back, 10 years ago, she would have never made it as far as she did. The only reason why she made it anywhere near as far as she did is because she was skinny with a nice ass and was light skinned. And she knew how to dump the makeup on her face. That was it, dude. It never had anything to do with her on an intellectual level. And what's even more sad is women, every woman like her, it's every woman in general, especially a woman in her caliber when she was younger, they're going to be surrounded by simps that'll tell them anything they want to hear. So along that path, Brittany Renner she genuinely grew to a point where she thought she was actually intelligent. She thought she was actually funny and interesting at some, like she started to believe it. Right? They tell me I'm smart. They tell me I'm valuable. They tell me I can go work at such and such company because I'm smart and awesome. Yeah, they tell me I can go make some money over here because I'm smart and awesome. Like she was never intelligent. She was never smart. She was never awesome. There was never any intellect there. I watched a comedian a few days ago saying he said he tried to compare it, like he was saying how 40-year-old women, they fall for it, and they walk around and try to say I like pelicans because they remember when they was 20 and they could just walk around and be like I like pelicans, and it's always somebody like yeah I like pelicans too yeah because they was 20, they was prime fuck material, so everybody's gonna like whatever the 20-year-old girl likes if they think it's gonna get them some pussy out of her, right? And then they end up 40, walk around saying I like pelicans, and motherfuckers be like yo what, why is this 40-year-old bitch saying she like pelicans? Nobody give a fuck. Right now, of course, again, there's women, they age at different rates. Some of them get older, some of them age worse, some of them age slowly worse. Pick your poison, right? Um, but either way, it for the vast majority of women, it only gets worse and worse and worse, right? I again, I told my spouse, I told her about her own mother that this would be the best because my spouse's mom is a good looking older woman, but she's crazy, right? And I told her like, look, the best thing for her, she need to go ahead and get her left arm amputated. Uh, maybe get a burn on half her face, or gain about 200 pounds, something like this, to slow her ass down, to become a little humble, to get at least some decency out of her, right? Because as long as she can keep walking on and think she's cute and pretty, there's no room for any other growth at all. There's just none. There's no room. As long as she still thinks she's cute and pretty, she's gonna go out. She's gonna go out there and keep doing the same exact things. She's never gonna do anything different. She's gonna work the same jobs. She's gonna try to get around the same men. She's gonna, and then I think like Charlie Murphy said. Charlie Murphy was at a podcast. He's dead now, but he was at a podcast where he said because he would go on tour with his brother who was Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's a great, not much competition, right? And he said that there was a hussy that was hanging around him and Eddie and trying to fuck her way to the top with them. Well, he said he went on tour and he went on tour with Lil Wayne some kind of way, and he said the same whore that was chasing him and his brother around 20 years ago was chasing Lil Wayne around now. The same one, right? That's wild shit. But that's woman's mentality. That's it. If Melania were to leave Donald Trump, she's gonna go try to hang out. She's gonna go and do the same thing that she was like. Now Melania aged a little better. Most of it's clearly plastic surgery, but she aged. She's still keeping it together relatively well, especially for her age, right? But you think she's gonna go down or even go anywhere different? No, she's gonna keep trying to chase that man and that culture that she was always going after before, right? But I think what's even gotten worse now for like, so let's use Brittany Renner as an example. What's got see, the reason why Brittany Renner is in such a bad position it's even like a next level bad position is that the world seen what she did. Her name is out there, right? So of course there's always going to be and Brittany knows this. Brit knows this. She knows that there's always going to be a fool who she can just go, oh, they just made that up on the internet about me. Oh yeah. She knows that there's always a fool who fall for it, right? And the guy, he might fall for it at first, but then it's inevitable. He'll wake up and get rid of her ass too, and she's gonna. But the sad part is, Brittany Renner as a woman, her nature is gonna keep the humility won't be enough by itself. The humility from the internet, all the stories, the logic being expressed, the humility won't be enough because woman's nature is still to be prostitute. Now, to be prostitute for a certain quality of man that she felt like she can prostitute for. It's just her, she can't fight it, right? So it gets to a point where she'll just have to be kicked out. And like I said earlier, the best thing for her to get kicked out would just be go ahead and get type 2 diabetes and get a limb amputated, or get some disease, get some infection to where she lose an eyeball or something like that would speed rush kicking her out. Because if she's not gonna get kicked out, she's gonna be like that hussy chasing around Lil Wayne, who used to chase around Eddie Murphy 20 years ago. She's gonna end up doing the same shit. She can't stop. She can't help it. Like a dog chasing a car. She can't help it. Unless she gets an owner, like a dog, who grabs her by the fucking neck and say, sit the fuck down. Or, like a dog, she ends up getting her hind legs amputated or gains a 200 pounds so she can't chase the car anymore. Something's going to have to take her out the game because her nature, she can't fight it. It's what they do. They can't help on a whole. They can't help it. Something has to sit them down and check them. Usually it's the age. Usually for most women it's going to be weight. Usually they'll just start gaining too much weight and they don't know how to get rid of it. That's what it's going to take out. I'd say at least, at minimum, 60% of them as they start to age. Usually they just because keeping track of weight means keeping track of accountability, and no woman likes accountability, so they can't control that, right? Um, After that, I would say just the sagging skin. If they don't gain weight, then they'll usually get ridiculously skinny, right? And when they get ridiculously skinny, they start to deflate and they'll start to just sag and have the turkey neck shit and all, and that'll kick them out the game, right? But very few of them will be able to maintain the proportionate body weight all the way around to where they don't deflate too much, or they don't inflate too much, right? Very few of them will manage to make that cut. Not a lot. I would say less than 15% will make that cut of not gaining too much weight, gaining weight in the wrong areas, or just losing all the weight and becoming so skinny that their skin starts to sag. Most of them will fall into one of those two parties. I just seen a friend of mine. I never checked Facebook, and I randomly went on Facebook. And the first picture I seen was his wife. And I have a lot of respect for his wife. I do. I really do. I have a lot of respect for him. For him, too. I remember his kids when they were like babies, like they were younger than my son. A lot of respect for him, right? And she used to be like a model. She was like the prettiest girl on the street, in the mall, these kind of things, right? That picture I seen, like, here's the thing. I got so depressed in Czech Republic. They're back in Ohio. In Czech Republic, I got so depressed here, right? Because I'm 38. So everybody I know in my age group is getting older, right? So people are gaining weight, they're losing jobs, whatever the fuck, things are happening, right? And like, oh my god, everybody's just going to shit because like again, I got a lot of respect for her. I do because I remember her when she was young. I remember like I have memories of her being young, right? I clearly remember her before she had kids. All this, but she looked like she's about to start calling some audibles. Like she getting ready to try to plan how to sack the quarterback. I was like, what? That's her? As I was on the iPad, I had to hold the iPad back. Shit. So is my eyesight going bad? Like, it was just all the weight was just in the wrong areas. It just wasn't even. Just, it's like, what the fuck? Like, the way it didn't even like go around. It was just all in the wrong. Like it was just all like I wouldn't even put that picture on the internet. just keep that shit hidden deep in my iPhone somewhere, like where I can't even find it. Is it like I wrote? I think she could take it too. I think she's cool enough where she can handle it. I was like, damn, because I know her and she's a great person. I've known her since she was maybe 16. She's a great person. She's always been cool. Cause she grew up in a household where her mom was a single mom, and she was one of those women who'd seen her mom and was like, "I'm not gonna end up like that. I'm gonna go get with a man and start a family." She was one of them type of women, right? So like she's seen it and knew, and she got with a friend of mine, and they've been together ever since. Because I didn't know that until years later when I finally met her mom, and then they started telling me like stories of how they grew up, and they grew up pretty rough. And it's like, but when I seen her on Facebook, I was like, oh God, not you. You were the chosen one. Now you look like she wearing shoulder pads. And not like regular women shoulder pad shirts. I'm talking like NFL grade shoulder pads. You mean like what the fuck? For those of you like who are like in your mid to late 30s, like you probably experienced the same shit going back and seeing, the women who was like, yeah, guys too. I know a few guys who blew up like crazy, like blew up, like got like real big, like, and then you would have never guessed they would have got that big. But it hurts when it's a woman though, because women, their values are based, their value in life is essentially based off their waist measurements. To tell which jobs they gonna get and which type of men they gonna get around, type of shit. That's just how it goes. Um, wow, like I'm just thinking, it hurt me to see it. Renner's option is a young man who she will be paying for, or an unattractive older man that will simp out for. Kevin Mugami, I would say the last. I agree with you. I would say, I would say the other option would be what many middle-aged women do when they know their time is up and the clock's ticking out. Is they go after a guy who's like you said, a younger guy. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, same thing. Yeah, yeah. I agree with you because I was gonna say the same thing you said. With those shows they have where they get like these like I did a whole series on one of them. Was it Labor of Love? I think was the name of it, where she was going out. She had been on She had already been on like two or three dating shows and couldn't find a man on them. So she was like the main woman where a house of men competed for her, and they were all like younger than her because they were just too dumb to really see what she was in life, and she knows it. Like, see, all these things I say on YouTube, like every woman knows this is a reality. They just don't like to accept it, that they get mad about it, but every woman knows this is true shit. Like, she knows her position. Women know when they hit 30 their value plummets. Men never had to say these things. Women automatically know. Men never had to. The women are trying to blame red pill communities. They're trying to, because dumbass simps will just blindly follow them. But no, among women, women have always known that hitting 30 was when it was over for most women. Men never had to say these things. Now, like I said, now women are these women, they're trying to blame the red pill community for it. But women always, you can go to the middle of nowhere, right? Let's say like the middle of fucking Utah, right? And them girls will get around and when they get in their little girl circles, they know that's the truth amongst themselves. They know it. Like I said a while back, see the reason why women get mad when you have to ask how old they are is because the reason why women get mad and they don't want you asking their age and all that shit. The reason why they get mad about that is because see when they was younger, they would get in their little girl circles and they would make fun of older ugly women. They would go ew and all that, right? Ew, yuck, and all that. But then when they finally get old, see the reason why they get mad is because they remember how they used to look at women that were older and now they're that woman. That's where all that comes from. It's nothing about courtesy and all that shit like that. It's because she don't want to be reminded of the very thing that she used to hate. Because she didn't value older women when she was younger and attractive. That's where all that comes from. Now they're trying to play these word games. Well, 30, 40's a new 30, 50's a new 25. No, no, it's not. 50 is 50. 40 is 40. 30 women love to try to disregard logic when it works in their benefit. Look, any woman watching, 30 is 30, 35 is 35, 40 is 40, 45 is 45, and etc. 50 is not the new 25. 55 is not the new 30. Okay, it's still 50. 50 is the same number that it was 100 years ago. It would still be 50. Playing with words and all this shit. 45's the new 20. No, it's not. You still 45. You better accept it. MILF Manor. I believe you, Kevin. I believe you. It's pathetic. I believe you. I remember I was covering one show where it had a single mother was living in a house with like 10 dudes who was competing for her pussy. Now that was really low. That was low. I covered that a long time ago, but it was like this Spanish woman, and she was living in the house with like I want to say the guys were like 25, and they was sharing beds together, living in, and it wasn't even like a big house. It was like a 3 bedroom, like a 1 story, like 2 or 3 bedroom house. I mean, it wasn't even like a big house. It wasn't like they all had their own room and shit like that. These motherfuckers like was literally bunking up together, sleeping head to toe, rubbing dicks at night, hoping they can get a chance to fucking hook up with this single mother. That was about the lowest I've ever seen on TV. I'm sure now it's probably gotten worse. I don't watch much TV, so I don't know. I don't watch any TV actually, so I don't know. But that was the lowest I've ever seen, and they were happily competing for her too. And she was coming in with demands and commanding them to do shit, and um, that was wild shit, man. That was low. She was living with some super simps. She was like a three. I remember she wasn't even like she wasn't like what was that one hussy that was on 30 was it 30 Day Fiance 90 Day I don't know what that show 90 Day Fiance was probably it was like some Spanish woman on there. And she had a nice ass. The ones who I'm thinking that now, she had a nice ass. I could see guys competing over that because she did have a real nice shape on her. But that girl in the show that I covered, she was nothing like abnormally special. She was just like, she was just that regular woman stocking shelves at Walmart type shit. That was just kind of cute. She was one of them. I mean, bitch make about $8.25 an hour. Going out collecting shopping carts and shit. She's that kind of cute one that's collecting shopping carts outside. She one of them, right? She was one of them. if she was lucky, she can work as a front desk secretary somewhere. If she was lucky, she'd get a job like that. She was that was a quality. It's like you know she was like she was a secretary at a dentist's office would be like her highest achievement in life kind of thing. One of them. Like I've made it. You remember the episode of Martin? Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go in a minute. But remember it was an episode of Martin because Cole Martin had his friend Cole. Cole was the idiot, right? And Cole worked at the airport with like doing luggage, and they was all talking like just talking about their jobs. And Cole was like he goes, Martin, they're not gonna let me work a snack machine. That's too much power for a brother. Like, cause that's his brain was just his mentality was just so low. Like he thought working a snack machine was like he's like that's too much power. The character was great. He was dating Big Shirley, and she would burp, and like everybody, it was just like this wind that would come out. You never got to see Big Shirley. You just heard. I think you could hear her talk, but she would burp, and like it was like this fan that would hit him, and she always ate like all the food, like a lot of food. But yeah, he was talking about working at the airport. He said, "Yeah, they're not gonna give me that much power working at a snack machine." Gaines Day. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, she was dating. Yeah, she was dating this dude. He wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer for sure. I can't remember exactly. I like. I remember his. She would say his name a certain way. I just can't remember the guy's name.
Accountability. Ooh. I analyzed my behavior and what parts of me resonated with these men I deemed problematic. I'm here to tell you that the call is coming from inside the house, and it's time to pick up. First of all, hi. People are so quick to say, if you were smart, you could have. If I were you, I would have. If you were me, you'd be no different than you are now, which is utterly forgettable, just in my body. The average person is below average. So although we're all capable of change, most rarely do. That is why change is so alarming to people. It's unheard of. People aren't willing to go the distance, to put in the work, to believe in themselves. You cannot dwell on decisions you've made. I have tried a multitude of things at the buffet of life, and I will not apologize for it. I don't do apology tours. I know what I like and what I don't like, what's good for me and what's not, and where I want to go moving forward. And thankfully, hallelujah, I don't need anybody's permission to change. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people benefit from you staying the same. Ooh. Ooh. Regardless if it's strangers or online or people you know personally that are no longer benefiting from you staying the same, they have the loudest opinions. Because a narrow mind and a wide mouth usually go together. And that is why when they voice their opinions, you pay them dust. First of all, hi. I crave connection, but I am not entertaining men for the sake of having notifications. I know what it's like to be desired by men. I don't know what it's like to be valued by one. When people ask me, why hasn't it worked out with anyone? Well, because I've never valued myself. I've been running from myself for a really long time.
Well, that's normal. That's normal for every woman. There's nothing special about you in doing that. She's just the first. Like every woman, she thinks everything started with her. That's every woman. No woman. Very few women genuinely value themselves. They just walk around and pretend like they do, right? Because they know some guy's always going to value them in some form, right? Usually for her body and just how she just stands there and just exists as woman. But it's always funny to hear women talk like they think they're aware of their growth, and you know what I mean, like it's always a mixture of sad and funny to listen to women think that they've actually like reached a milestone in development as if they were the only one. Right? Like every woman is the main character in her movie that's going on in her head. Every woman is, dude. And everybody else is the side character. is a supporting actor, actress. Yeah, like every because if she has courage, she would go off to admit that she's not an interesting person to be around. If there are women who fully acknowledge it, and I respect those women who at least acknowledge the reality. There's nothing actually interesting about the vast majority of women you're going to come across in life. There's nothing very interesting about them. The interest is in you thinking they're interesting, and then they just look like a fuckable woman, and every woman knows it. Every woman knows it.
And I'm no longer drinking it away, eating it away, sleeping it away, fucking it away. I'm sitting with my shit. I was entertaining conversations with men I knew I would never take seriously because
The validation.
I felt like it validated me.
Yep.
Single, I'm alone, but I'm not really. I have people on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I never needed anything outside of me to validate me. But until you're ready to get that honest with yourself, you'll keep looping back until you do something different. You're really only holding yourself back and prolonging the inevitable, which is you having these difficult conversations with yourself. You don't believe in love. You're desperate. You don't think you can do any better. Ultimately, you feel like it's what you deserve. Anything you attract from a disempowered state won't last. That's a feel-good life quote. And you deserve all the things that you deeply desire. But your actions have to align with your beliefs. Update on my vagina. Since so many of you have your fucking nose in it all the time. Yeah, I'm just joking. You see, that's why I hate when people are like, I'm just joking. Because there's always truth in jest. I wasn't joking. A lot of you have your nose in my vagina. I was actually being serious. Anyways, I got the copper IUD today. Won't trap me! Oh, what no? You hand me the ring. No plan, engagement, nothing. A man wants me to push a baby out this power portal. You're gonna have to get on one knee, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, now we hit that. Now, yeah, we've hit that phase of if a man wants me, he's gonna have to propose to me. He got the Now I think she said she's 30, 32 or something like that. She's hit that age pretty early. I would say, yeah. She's officially hit that age a little early. She's been ran through pretty hard. She's finally hit that stage. If he wants this, he got to get down on one knee. Why don't he want to take care of my baby? What happened to that baby? Where'd the baby go? Baby's with her parents. That's where that baby went. I would guarantee you that. Because she has a little too much energy. For somebody to be a single mom like that, she has a little too much energy to be a mom, right? For those of you who have kids or you know women who have kids, especially when they small like that, she's got a little too much extra free time and energy to be mommy, right? She's a little too much, and then talking about these topics, she's got a little bit too much energy. I mean, I'm daddy, and I'm not even dealing with all this shit, and I'm tired. Right? I'm barely struggling to do live streams. She's sitting up fully energized, dolled up, hair done, nails done, sitting in front of a camera in her fucking car, full of energy. That shit ain't adding up. Period. That MAF, is not adding up. Where's that baby at? That's my first and foremost question. What's up, elusive man? My first question overall is, where is that baby? And you supposed to be mommy. Where is that baby, and why do you have so much extra energy? Period account, yeah. I'm gonna turn it off in a minute because I just can't really listen to her too much longer. But yeah, it's sad. She's officially in that phase where every man's got to come and put a ring on it. Every man's in that phase. Yeah, every man. She's in that phase where every man now has to. He has to come in here and be serious because she's done DM 9,000 guys over the last 2 weeks, and now the high of just getting random attention from random men is dying off. So now she's living in this fantasy in her head that she's valuable for marriage, and so now she thinks she can just walk around and just say all types of wild shit on why men should just bow down on one knee to get to her pussy, because she's misplaced her sense of values from guys just wanting to fuck her ass, from guys who would actually want to sit down and exist in a room with her without sex being involved. Okay, okay. There's a reason why the last dude ain't there. There's a reason why she's still single now, and there's a reason why she'll be forever single for the rest of her for the vast majority of the rest of her life. There's always going to be a fool. There's always going to be a fool out there who is just he's a fool. There's always going to be a fool who will put up with her, but even that's there's a very low chance of that lasting long in any real sense of like when I'm talking like sitting down, coming home to Brittany Renner and her bastard child, and sitting down with her and her bastard child. Okay, because I'm gonna go ahead and call it. She's not being a mother to these children, walking around like running around doing shit like this. She's got too much extra energy, right? For those of you who got small children, you already know. For those of you who don't, look, this woman has too much energy to have small children, and she's way too dolled up and has too much energy to be doing this, to be a mom at the same time, right? There's a fool out there who would still put up with her outside of having sex, who will even probably try to marry her. There's always a fool who will do it, but usually it happens, but usually the relationships don't last long. Because they done got mad, and here's the thing. Usually, the reality of what happens of why it doesn't last long is because, see, Brittany Renner doesn't want to say this. She doesn't want to say this, but she would know everything I'm getting ready to say is true. I've already said everything about her like what 3 years ago, and everything at least set at minimum 80% of what I said came true. Right now, with this next step, she knows everything I'm getting ready to say. That I'm going to say is true. Okay. The reason why she will never hold on there's a very low chance she will hold on to any relationship is because she knows she's a piece of shit. She knows there's nothing about her that is worth offering to a man outside of playing hooker. She knows it. She's fully aware. Her sisters know it, her aunts know it, her family knows it. It hurts, but it's the truth. There's nothing about her that is of any value outside of standing up waiting to get fucked. Period. So, what does that mean? What this means is when she does hits up on these random guys on YouTube or whatever app she's on, or meet some guy at some party when she figures out he has some money, right? And then she decides she thinks she wants to play housewife or just wife, or she found a man who will sit down and put a ring on it. When she does find this fool who will do it, her conscience is going to start working at her. She's going to start fucking up her own self in her head because she knows there is nothing about her that is worth being treated that well. Right? So what is she going to do? She's going to sabotage shit, start arguments, start ghosting the dude, disappearing, having mental breakdowns out of nowhere because she knows it, because at this point it will be 100% clear that she knows she's a piece of shit and she doesn't deserve that guy. And the sad part is okay, if the guy didn't wake up first and just run away, if he actually sticks in there and tries to make it work, the sad part is that guy usually has no idea. He usually, but by the time he's even entertained Brittany Renner for too long, he's got to be a certain level of dumb. So he's not gonna have any idea, right? And he's gonna end up heartbroken, trying to figure out what happened. He's trying to be a good guy. Oh, but I fed your daughter. I don't know if he has a daughter or son, but I fed your baby and I bought your baby a bike and all this. Like, why? I'm trying to make a perfect family. Why aren't you coming back home? Blah, blah. And she's gonna run away and hide. The reason why she's gonna run away and hide, just like every hussy before her did too, is because she knows she's awful. She knows that there's nothing valuable about her outside of playing prostitute. So there's no spot she will never be comfortable being somebody's genuinely being somebody's actual wife. When I say actual wife, I'm not talking of just getting the title of Mrs., right, and changing your last name. I'm talking the title of wife, to be able to just sit down in a fucking room and just exist with a partner without starting any drama, having to resort to fucking, just literally just sitting down in a room with somebody and be two people. She can't do it. I don't even gotta know the bitch in real life. I can tell you, I already know she can't do it. The hardest thing for women to learn around the globe, it doesn't matter where you are, the hardest thing for women to do is to learn how to just be a decent human being. That's the hardest thing. That's the hardest challenge for a woman, is to figure out how to be a decent human. Just sit there and be a decent human. Don't get nervous, and now you doing dishes out of being nervous because you don't know if you're boring or not. No, no, just sit. Just learn. You know how men, we can just sit down on the couch like Al Bundy with our hand down our pants. Men, we can, as men, we men can literally just go to BW3s and just sit there all day and be polite to a waiter or waitress that comes along and just eat our chicken wings and just be a decent fucking human that just chills. We don't have to think about drama. We don't have to call up somebody to start an argument. We don't have to compare our clothes to somebody else's clothes. As men, we can go to the fucking bar and just put one hand halfway down our pants and just sit back and just chill. And other men will see this dude with his hand down his pants, they'd be like, well, that's a little weird. He got his hand down his pants in public, but he's chilling. So leave him alone. And let him just sit there and exist as a human. Women can't do that. Women have to go to school to learn how to be like that. Women and bitches gotta go. Bitches have to go be. They have to go to etiquette school to learn how to just exist. You mean they need etiquette? That's what etiquette school is for women. How to just exist, and how to just exist in a decent way, in a feminine, decent way. I tell you right now, don't nobody care. Don't nobody give a fuck about the difference between a dessert fork and a dinner fork. All right, they want you to sit there and just exist, shut the fuck up, and smile, and look like you can figure out how to combine soap and water in a bathtub. That's all people want out of women, and they can't even do that. They got to pay $3,000 to figure that out. Because they're dumb as fuck, dude. They're horrible. She knows it. I'm not saying, here's the thing. She could be mad at me for saying that, but I'm not saying anything she doesn't already know. I'm not saying there's not a word that came out of my mouth in that 10-minute rant. There's something that she doesn't already, that any woman on earth doesn't already know. She'll get mad because she thinks that men aren't supposed to know these things, and her business, her secret has been exposed. Like the red pill. The red women know all that red pill shit is true. There's no arguing it. You look throughout human history, it's always the same shit. Why are women mad? Because the red pill put all the women's secrets out in the street. All they secret games they playing and why they're doing it, the red pill put all their business out in the street. And they don't got anything else after that. All they had to rely on was dressing up as cute as possible and manipulating men to survive. It's what woman has done for the last 300,000 years to survive. figuring out how she could fit in under a man. Only in modern times now we got telephones, Instagram, internet, right? And then women found out about online dating. So now women they've got delusioned into thinking that they actually run something, right? And they're confused. Again, I haven't said a word that Brittany Renner doesn't already know is true. She'll get mad at me because I said it out loud. Play this for any pimp. If you know a pimp, play everything I said. Let the pimp and then ask the pimp what he thinks about it. He might not like my swagger or style, but he can't say that I'm full of shit. For the last 300,000 years, this is what woman has done. Manipulate to survive underneath man. That's it. Literally for the entire of human existence. That's what because you will not find civilizations where women said, "Oh my God, we're tired of being abused. We'll go make our own country and make our own laws." That doesn't happen. Historically, this does not happen. These things don't happen. Historically, women sat around, waited for man to make up man's mind, and then figure out how she can live up underneath that man and live and essentially, what's the word I'm looking for? Scavenge off of him. They're professional scavengers with 300,000 years of training. All right, they can just dress up and look cute, and then now they talk men into believing that there's something more than that. In the last 10 years, they've tricked men into thinking that they're more than just fucking cockroaches of the human ladder. They've tricked men into believing this shit. Right? But over the last 300,000 years, why has there never been a fully functional women only society? Why is this? If there was, it was being funded by men. The WNBA is a great example. Right? They can't even run that shit. They're being funded by men. Why don't you make your own goddamn sport? If men don't pay you what you want, see, if the WNBA is so, we don't make any money, we gotta ride fucking commercial airlines to our games. Well, then go make your own goddamn sport. You so smart and independent and strong. There was no point in history where woman has done that without the aid of a man. Period. It's what they do. It's what they've been biologically trained for literally a third of a million years. Well, no, yeah, a third of a million years. It's what their training's in. It's what their genetic resume is in. Scavenging. Waiting for the crumbs that men bring back. They don't go out there and make their own countries. They don't go out there and make their own laws. They don't go out there and make their own currency. They don't go out there and make their own philosophy. They wait for men to make countries, laws, currency, philosophies, and then come around and try to pick it apart and turn into theirs. They don't go out there and make their own. And when the few times when they attempt to do it, like modern feminism, if you ask them more than two questions into it, they don't have a clue on how to explain anything. They're just parroting whatever some other dingbat bitch said or some simp who just wants pussy. You ask any feminist two questions into anything she believes, and she will run into a concrete wall mentally and can't answer you because she doesn't know what she thinks. She's waiting for men to tell her what to think. Period. This rant would get you canceled 10 times over in the UK. But yeah, I find it more offensive that modern women have gotten this confused and are seriously trying to pull this shit off. I find that offensive from anybody who has a logical mind and can think deeper than 20 years back in time and just actually open up fucking book. Like, I think modern feminism is offensive. How they're trying to portray it, I think it's offensive. Brittany Renner, yeah, Nick, that's a great Nick. Can I pin that? I don't think I can pin it, or like you pin it, like put it at the top so everybody can see that. The nickname Brittany Rent Her. Yeah, that is her new. That should be her new nickname. Brittany Rent Her, is that's where her. That's what she's been trained to do. She's been trained to be rented, not owned, rented. Now get this: the girl I was dating before my spouse, now my child's mother, she was a feminist, right? She claimed she was a feminist, and after I started fucking her, she started wearing dresses, and she would cook me breakfast every morning, right? But before, she was a feminist when we first met, but she got off all that, right? Um, and I remember one of the first times we hung out, we sat at the park. We sat down in this park, and I was telling her how, as women get older, like, there's a reason why they're not owned. And she just flat out asked me. She goes, "Well, why am I not owned?" Like, when you get them like in a heart to heart conversation, they know all of this is true. There is not a one woman, if you can get them off somewhere. Generally, it's easier to get them off somewhere and talk to them and not be mad or nothing. Just talk about it. Like, they know. Like, the red pill woman is the red pill. Men just finally figured it out and documented it, but women are the red pill. I remember she flat out asked me, well, how come nobody? She said something like, "How come nobody owns me, or why am I not owned?" I still remember that very clearly. But yeah, I'm already. It says I'm already manifesting that my husband be on his way. Yeah, she's officially. This is this is sad, man. She's hit that point of, I need a husband. She's hit that point. And like I said yesterday, I'm gonna leave her after this to go to the Nick Cannon in them shoes. But um this is sad. Okay. Here's the thing: it's never going to get better because she's a woman. Her best years are gone. She still looks good, but her best years are her best years are gone. And they will never come back. Um, and like I said yesterday, the best thing that can happen to her is, if she the best thing that can happen to her would be suffer some kind of disfiguration to shut her the fuck up and humble her, or at least, I think weight gain may or may not humble her. She might just double down on being ridiculous. But I think, like, she and I don't wish her any pain, but I think what would be best for her would be to suffer some type of amputation, or, like, suffer a burn mark on her face, like some type of third degree burn, or get suffer some type of disease where, like, she walks with a real bad limp, something like this, something that she can't hide makeup with. She can't hide with makeup, and she has to just walk. She has to just exist and be like that now. Something that's clearly disfigurable, so that'll slow her down. Because then once she becomes humble, then she'll be actually open to try to, like, try to grow stronger with actual character behind it now, right? But until that, the worst thing for her is to stay physically healthy, and the worst thing for her is going to be to stay physically healthy. I'll just end it with that. Because as long as she stays physically healthy, she's not going to stop being like this. Weight gain, she could double, like Vivica Fox. She could turn to Vivica Fox, how she blew up, and Vivica Fox just doubled down on it even harder. And yeah, and that's just complete delusion. She's like 60 or something like that, and yeah, no, the best pictures look rough. But Vivica Fox has some regular pictures up at her age, and they was, she's beat, she's done. She's beaten into the ground. She's so, like, weight gain can do it, And with American women, it's pretty much. I think the weight. I think here's the thing. If she was in Europe, I think it would humble her a bit more if she were to gain weight. But in America, where they've normalized fat bitches, she'll fuck around. I think yeah, she'll probably just double down on being ridiculous. I seen this Instagram post of this. Let me see if I can find it. It was this fat black woman with a see if I can find it. It was this fat black woman being a mermaid. It just looks so awful. Fat black mermaid. It's what a tick torque. That's what Ron Burgundy calls it. Tick torque. And she thought she was cute too. See, like this. Oh god, I just don't even want to watch this shit. It's just ridiculous. That's retarded. But yeah, Brittany Renner, she's just going. She's the other. She's just the next one. She's just the next one. And it's just really sad and depressing to watch. Now from Brittany Renner's perspective, because again, women don't really know what makes them attractive. They really like they know, but they don't know, right? So from her perspective, as long as she keeps getting guys hopping in her DMs or her online dating is filled with matches, she's gonna think that she's always the 23-year-old Brittany Renner, right? And she's going to double down on the attitude because she's going to think I'm the one who finally made it. I'm the woman who defied age and still has plenty of men interested in me. So I'm still the shit. I'm a superstar. I've made it. This is what all women go through, especially in modern day. This is what all women go. There's always going to be a pool of simps waiting for her, right? And she's gonna take that as, oh, I'm still the shit. I'm the one human that defied aging, and I can stay and I'll stay desirable forever. So fuck you, I'm still here, right? And she's gonna double down on it and just get more bitter, more angry because she'll never keep an actual relationship. That's where the bitterness and angry and being angry is gonna come from. Because I think deep down, it's like I said, it's like when men age, like we just can't lift certain things anymore, kind of thing. Because we got back aches, shit like that. Like we know we've aged, but like it could be hard for some men to accept it, right? And it's the same thing with women and aging, but instead of lifting anything heavy, it's woman's just physical attractiveness. Like they know it, but they don't know it, but they know it, but they don't know it, kind of thing. 80, do you think men in the US are better if they just hire a maid to cook and clean and a woman of the night for sex rather than, yes, yeah, rather than get married? I hope you women will do those things. Hope will women do those things on a regular basis? Oh, yeah, overall, KWC, yeah. I think the former. The former is the better option. Um, but it depends. Okay, it depends on it. Some guys just like to feel like they're needed by a woman. So for those guys, it would probably be harder for them. I'm not one of those guys. Like I don't want to be. I don't have to feel like when I was younger, I went through that phase. But now that I'm older, I don't really care if people just don't talk to me at all for weeks at a time. Sometimes I kind of want to talk to people, but for the most part, like, I don't need it. Especially like I used to when I was younger. So I'm not one of those guys. Like where I am now, um, yeah, I would say the former. Where I am now, completely, yeah. Just hire a woman, just hire a hooker once a week, twice a week, something like that, and just pay a maid. Well, in Europe, a maid would be like $20. In America, maids or cleaning people are expensive. They're like in the hundreds. I showed my girlfriend this on the websites because I showed her the house cleaner websites in America, and they're all charging like 150, $200, and she just couldn't believe it because in Czech Republic you can get a cleaning person for like 20, 20, 40 bucks. It's not that same situation out here. I had a cleaning woman when I first moved here. She'd go around, dust everything, wash the sheets, change the sheets, sweep, mop the floor. It is what she did, and she made $20, and that was it. Oh no, I think we paid her like about 50 because it was a big house. It's still funny you predicted how Billie Eilish would act and dress when she started getting attention from men. Oh yeah, you gonna see her tits. Yeah, I don't keep up with her, but yeah. Well, once she figured out she was attractive, once she figured out men wanted to juggle her tits around, oh, that's gonna be it. That's it for that. It's gonna be all about sex now. Sex and and can you see my body? Can you see my body? Look at my body. Let's look her up real fast. Because I don't keep up with her. I like the Barrier Friend. I really like. I remember I was in I had flown back to the U.S. and I was in Jacksonville, Florida when I first seen the Barrier Friend music video, and I fell in love with that video. I thought it was hot. The lyrics, the way it was made, everything. I loved Barrier Friend. I loved the video. I thought it was great. I loved it so much I started listening to her other music on the album and listened to it. Um, oh, it was great. I didn't even know really I didn't really even know what she looked like. I just remember the lyric. It went what do you want from me? What, like, why do you care for me? Why are you there for me? I'm like, because he wants to fuck you, Billy. That's why he's there for you and care for you. Well, let's look at the lyrics real fast. Yeah, here it is. What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me? What are you wondering? What do you know? Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me? Yeah. See these lyrics right here? It is very easily answered. Because they want to fuck you, Billy, because you're a young woman. That's why people care for you, because you literally were physically just the body of young woman. That's it. It wasn't because of your personality. Well, I think it's clear off these lyrics you knew it wasn't because of your personality. Not because you're so awesome.